Did you know? The Yemeni government is reportedly preparing an unprecedented 80,000-man military assault on the Houthi-controlled port city of Hodeidah. This could be the largest offensive in Yemen's decade-long conflict. But what's driving this massive mobilization now? And how might it reshape the balance of power in the region? Hodeidah isn't just any city, it's Yemen's most vital port, handling over 70% of the country's imports, including food, fuel, and humanitarian aid. Control over Hodeidah means control over Yemen's economic lifeline. The Houthis have held it since 2015, using it as a strategic and financial stronghold. Past attempts to retake the city, like 2018's Operation Golden Victory, stalled due to fierce resistance and humanitarian concerns. Several factors are converging in 2025. U.S. Airstrikes intensify. Since March, the U.S. has launched over 200 airstrikes targeting Houthi positions in response to their attacks on Red Sea shipping lanes. Recent strikes in Hodeidah's Al-Hawak district killed at least 8 people, according to Houthi sources. Israeli involvement. In July 2024, Israeli airstrikes targeted Hodeidah's oil facilities, causing significant damage and raising tensions in the region.
F-35 fleet, bringing the total to 75 in the coming years.
Port damage. The UN reports that Hodeidah's port capacity has been reduced by 70% due to ongoing conflict, severely impacting aid delivery and fueling humanitarian concerns. A full-scale assault on Hodeidah could have catastrophic humanitarian consequences. The city is densely populated, and further conflict could displace thousands and disrupt critical aid supplies. Previous battles have already strained the region's resources, and another major offensive could exacerbate the crisis. As the Yemeni government mobilizes its largest force yet, the international community watches closely. The outcome of this potential assault could redefine Yemen's future and alter regional dynamics. Will diplomacy prevail, or are we on the brink of another devastating chapter in Yemen's history? The Yemeni government's assault on Hodeidah could trigger devastating consequences. First, a looming humanitarian catastrophe. Hodeidah processes 70% of Yemen's imports, food, medicine, fuel. An assault could sever these vital lifelines, pushing millions further into starvation. We've already seen the impact, like Israel's July 2024 airstrikes on oil tanks, which caused widespread fuel shortages and hospital blackouts. Second, a spike in civilian casualties. The 2018 battle in Hodeidah displaced over 600,000 people. A renewed conflict could be worse. In April 2025, U.S. strikes killed civilians, including children. And the December 2024 attack on Sana'a airport highlighted how even aid workers aren't safe. Third, a dangerous regional escalation. Foreign powers are already involved. The US and Israel have launched multiple strikes. One in March 2025 killed more than 60. Iran, in response, may boost weapons supplies to the Houthis, while Saudi Arabia might reignite support for proxy forces. Fourth, an economic disaster. Israel's strikes in July 2024 alone caused over $100 million in damages. If the port is hit again, it could collapse Yemen's economy, worsen inflation, and plunge millions deeper into poverty. Fifth, violations of international law. Targeting ports, hospitals, and civilian infrastructure may constitute war crimes. Human Rights Watch has already raised alarms, and aid agencies warn that such attacks violate humanitarian principles. Sixth, Houthi retaliation. The Houthis have vowed painful responses, possibly reviving Red Sea shipping attacks or targeting US and Israeli assets. Seventh, the risk of aid blockades. If Hodeidah's port is damaged, UN aid deliveries could grind to a halt. That's food and medicine for over 18 million Yemenis gone. And finally, long-term instability. Even if the assault succeeds, it could deepen Houthi resistance and cripple Yemen's recovery for decades. This assault won't just affect Yemen. It could upend food security, spark wider conflict, and prolong a humanitarian nightmare that's already lasted over a decade. The United States plays a central role in the Hodeidah assault, and the consequences are global. American drones and fighter jets are in the skies over Yemen. According to CENTCOM Commander General Michael Kurilla, the U.S. is actively providing air cover and intelligence to support Yemeni government forces. In March 2025 alone, U.S. airstrikes killed over 60 Houthi fighters. In April 2025, General Kurilla held high-level meetings across the region, from Israel to the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The goal? To synchronize a regional alliance in support of the offensive. The U.S. is also supplying logistics and weapons, while elite advisors assist on the ground. The U.S. has ramped up its air campaign. On April 2nd, a strike on Hodeidah's water management building killed 4. Since March, more than 200 strikes have targeted Houthi drone sites and missile factories, weakening their defenses before the main assault. Beyond the battlefield, Washington is turning the screws. The Trump administration has pushed UN sanctions, tightened inspections of incoming cargo, and pressured countries like Oman to rein in Houthi actions. But it comes at a cost: humanitarian risks. Critics warn of mounting civilian casualties and disrupted aid. March 2025 strikes killed children, and some compare the tactics to Israel's Gaza campaign, where civilian infrastructure was destroyed, sparking international outrage. The US isn't just a bystander. It's the primary military backer of the Hodeidah offensive, aiming to break Houthi control. But this support risks fueling a deeper crisis, one with massive humanitarian consequences. The Houthis are not backing down. As the Yemeni government prepares its assault on Hodeidah, the response from the rebels is fierce and multi-layered. In March 2025, the Houthis fired 18 ballistic and cruise missiles, targeting the USS Harry S. Truman, and even launching strikes on Eilat and Tel Aviv. They downed a US MQ-9 Reaper drone and opened fire on an American F-16. The message: they're ready for a fight. Houthi officials, including Foreign Minister Jamal Amr, declared Yemen is now at war with the United States. After US strikes killed 53 people in March, including children, the Houthis labeled the attacks war crimes and promised painful reprisals. Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi called the government's assault plans failed propaganda. In April 2025, military spokesperson Yahya Sari appeared in a defiant video, alive and well, vowing to confront any aggression with full force. The Houthis briefly halted Red Sea attacks after the January Gaza ceasefire. But when Israel blocked aid in March, they resumed immediately. By April, they offered a conditional truce: stop the blockade and they'll stop the strikes. A signal they're open to negotiation, but only on their terms. Inside Hodeidah, the Houthis are digging in. Underground weapons caches, fortified tunnels, and civilian networks for logistics and intelligence, all hidden in the rugged terrain. They're preparing for a long, brutal fight. The Houthis are blending firepower with diplomacy and guerrilla strategy. Backed by Iran and battle-hardened by years of war, they believe they can outlast the offensive and reshape the battlefield in their favor. A win in Hodeidah would boost the Yemeni government's image both at home and abroad. It would show strength, shift leverage in peace talks, and give the government a louder voice on the global stage. This isn't just a Yemeni battle, it's part of a larger chessboard. Taking Hodeidah weakens Iran's grip via the Houthis and strengthens allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It could even improve maritime security in the Red Sea, a global trade artery. Capturing Hodeidah could change the game economically, militarily, and politically. But for the Yemeni government, success won't just be about taking the port. It'll be about holding it without triggering a humanitarian catastrophe. Stay informed and engaged. Like, subscribe, and share this video to spread awareness about the unfolding situation in Yemen. Your voice matters in advocating for peace and humanitarian support.